Alright guys, here we are back in action. I think, yep, there we go. Sorry, I just gotta do, I had this title yesterday for him. Where is this? There we go, JYP. So once again, oh, I'll have to swap that actually, and then move his name down. Almost had it, almost nailed it. One sec. JYP is unfortunately playing a barcode. He has no other account. We did look into this guy, so there you go. It's on the overlay, all nice. But this is the round of 8 for the big one. There's $5,000 for prizes in this tournament. 2,500. Half of that goes to first place. Everyone filtering down 5th through 8th place just by playing today has already earned $50. But of course, $50 compared to 2,500 is nothing but a mere consolation. So we'll see who gets that big money. Spawning here in the bottom right corner of the map, though, starting this off strong, playing for well, actually, I don't know if, because there's some complications with this team, so we'll leave that out for now. Actually, the blue Ro8 player, JYP.
He's starting out strong by being blue. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is strong in blue because it's stronger team colors.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
In the upper left, Oz the Red Zerg. It is Samsung Galaxy's Solar.
Okay. So this is a very interesting predicament. I will explain this through the VODs just in this first game, and I hope that people who are watching this that didn't get to watch it live are fully aware. This was originally Bomber versus Solar. Bomber was attending a Red Bull event in Korea that evidently ran much longer than anticipated. I don't know the specifics of it, but he's at the event and he could not get away to complete our tournament. He had obviously planned to, but couldn't. At the last minute, had to forfeit. And I mean, like, he tried and tried and tried, and I guess, 20 minutes before the tournament, holding off as long as possible, said, hey, sorry, I can't play. Kind of sucked for us. We went into panic mode, but luckily JYP was available. A lot of people are asking, why did we replace a Terran with a Protoss? How does that make sense? It's not about replacing the races, guys. JYP finished 3rd in his group to Bomber. Had JYP not been in that group, had it been another Terran player, then we would have grabbed that player. But because JYP was 3rd in his respective group with Bomber, he takes Bomber's slot.
Very good, very good.
I picture you, like, your hands behind your back, you're like nodding, yes, very good. Very good.
Yeah. Well, it's so surprising that a bunch of people, and I know it's like the vocal majority or the vocal minority and all that, but that they are so adamant about you should have gotten a Terran, or some people probably even say you should have let Jaedong in, stuff like that. And it's like if we did that, like there would be a bunch of Reddit posts about how it's so unfair to the 3rd place guy.
It's incredibly unprofessional to do it like that too. You can't pick favorites in a tournament. I mean, that's the idea behind like match fixing and things, guys. We've been trying our best to avoid any complications in that regard. I mean, we had the random draw, we had the random seeding in the first place. Obviously, if Zombie Group and I could handpick matches, we'd set it up so our favorite players would be in the finals. But we want these guys to have a fair chance. We don't want this to be a bunch of BS.
If that was the case, we just like invite like a bunch of like
It'd be like 14 foreigners, Jaedong, and maybe I don't know, Polt or something, right? Like along those lines.
Mid-master foreigners too, like
Yeah. Oh, probably gets picked up, but a $5 donation coming in to start the day strong. You're a boss. Keep up the great work, man. From Sicklin_HD. Thank you kindly for that donation, sir. Or madam. For those who don't know, too, we got a bit of a slower opening, having a bit of Forge Expand without cannons on the other side of the field. The big one, you'll notice there's not a lot of corporate sponsors here. We got the Chairs for Gaming logo here because they are a channel sponsor and we love them to death. And quite frankly, the overlay looked a little bit awkward being completely naked. But for those who don't know where the money came for this, for the prize pool for the tournament, all these wonderful things, it's thanks to you guys who watch our ads, who support us to the channel. You're probably like, stop reading donations during the game, stop reading subscribers during the game. We've had multiple complaints about that, but you guys have to understand, we wouldn't have this tournament without donations and without subscribers in the first place. So rather than seeing like I don't know, some sort of logo down here saying like Monster Energy, we give love to our supporters who allow us to put on like a big event like this. Now, this is kind of a big deal. Tries to hide the Twilight Council, will get scouted, sadly.
I feel like this is so awkward. Yeah, you should have... probably not really expecting the Overlord scout for another 30 seconds to a minute. Obviously the Sentry would have been out and searching for where the Overlord would be coming in, but Solar... Not only does he get the scout, but it lives to get like a second scout. You can even, you can see it, there's like blink researching.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though, right? Like, we've seen a lot of, between players like Hawk to a lot of the Koreans, it does seem like there's this kind of favoritism to go very stalker heavy with Blink level 3 weapon upgrades in this matchup. But this almost looks like it's a bit of a fake out, because here comes a bunch of gateways on the other side of the base. And if Solar's sitting here tentatively watching every second, checking, like, is this researching? Is this researching? Really, JYP is setting up for some potential attack on the other way. These sentries are going to have to take care of the Overlord, though. I mean, this is... You can't allow this much scouting to go on, quite frankly. And if these see the other gateways, he's very specifically building in a way to try and hide from Solar, guys.
Right, yeah, and what is JYP actually hiding anymore? As long as the Toilet Council isn't researching, then you're just going to assume that it's a Dark Shrine. If it is researching, if you're trying to fake them out, that's a lot of gas going into the blink that you're not like getting your Dark Shrine as fast as possible. And he's actually not even doing anything with it. No Dark Shrine either. Just gets a Nexus. So that's probably a reaction more than anything. Like more than, oh, this is my plan all along.
Secret third base. Just kidding.
Yes. Fools you, Solar. Way to scout, you nerd.
You know what? Here's the thing about Koreans, though, right? Like, and most StarCraft pro players, actually, not even just Koreans. I'm generalizing way too much here, or not generalizing enough, maybe. Nobody like would. I would love to have that be like the interview thing. Like we see MC kind of get BM when it comes to like trash talking for DreamHack and stuff, but no one's gonna be the guy who's like, "I'm gonna take you down, you Protoss scum, you nerd." Like, I would.
You know what?
I want that so badly. We
I'm
got
gonna
coaching
teach a
for
bunch
games,
of Koreans to
right?
do that.
Right? There needs to be coaching for like BM. Seriously.
Yeah. No, I'd be like, no, JYP, like this, you nerd. And make sure you like say it with the right like incantation and stuff. Like
No, you're just fantasizing about hanging out with Jaedong now and stuff. I'm not even.
I said JYP, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I know, but I'm just saying. I know you're saying JYP, but I know you're thinking Jaedong.
Wow. Okay.
All right, actually, over here is kind of a big deal. Ling's gonna start chipping away at the wall. Obviously, he doesn't have to reveal that he does have a really heavy sentry count, but Solar, in the meantime, you know, this is not an expensive upgrade. 100, goes to the Brotech, and this will actually deal with force fields quite nicely.
Yeah. Solar just keeps on scouting. Man, stop, please. But sees that the Blink is, in fact, researching, sees the third, so, you know, it's like, okay, that makes sense. You're getting a +2 as well, most likely.
I don't know if I like this panic wall. This is... Actually, I think it'll work against him.
Probably not so much panic as it is why not.
Safety, I should say safety.
Direction.
Yeah. This one cannon does have some decent DPS.
Don't pull into the Lings.
I was gonna say he stacks on the Lings that are hold position.
Okay.
So it gets a couple of pros that gets driven off pretty quickly with that solo warping. Back into the base, bros revealed.
Ooh, that's a problem. He
doesn't
have any detection except the cannon.
But the cannon's going to get focused. It's getting low. Okay.
So many force fields are used though, so like that's
you could argue though, I mean to kill this many roaches, maybe it's worth it.
He has to save his third too.
Oh wow, like, yeah, under attack here by a big swamp of units. Not just Lings anymore. Cannon is actually not fully well. Yeah, he was expecting to put gateways down, but doesn't have time. Doesn't matter now. There's so many roaches here coming around the left side. Roaches actually sneak by, and it looks like most of the sentries have gone to respond. But this, as you pointed out, not a lot of energy. He used so many force fields on that back end. Solar man, jab to the left, sucker punch to the right. I don't know. He's coming in from multiple angles, and these roaches are doing work. Gets into the main now.
Oh, how did this happen? Oh no.
3 roaches are enough to one-shot a probe, guys, as we see, or one volley down, I guess.
Game paused.
So asking for
That
pause.
seems a little mean.
So, hey,
I thought that was a GG from JYP actually.
Yeah. He's like, I'm ahead. Pause, please. Assessing the situation for JYP though, guys. I mean, it's rough. He's losing a lot of probes. He wasn't really ahead in the first place. Solar's got that 4th base up. He doesn't need to drone it just yet, but he could off the back end of this damage. As we see, he's producing more and more army units into this, and he's in a position where he might just be able to leverage his way. Yeah, we talked about how there wasn't a Dark Shrine, but I think right now it would be pretty fantastic if there was a Dark Shrine.
Right? Yeah, it would be. You know, I really think that. I mean, obviously JYP's game didn't start off right, you know, exactly right. His Twilight Council got scouted, whatever plans he had, whether it was a Dark Shrine or Blank earlier than when he got it, we'll probably never know, but it does seem like... Solar, please.
Yeah, there must be something serious going on.
Oh, time
Do we have our translator in the game? No, it's sadly James is not with us today. That would have been nice to have had.
Well,
hopefully it's just something small, like, okay, my keyboard's messing up, or my keys are sticking, or something strange, I don't know.
Yeah, but what we usually see from Protoss now, like what JYP ended up doing. We always have seen in this tournament, and a bunch of other tournaments, they'll move out with like 4 Stalkers, a couple of Zealots, and all those sentries that JYP had, and they'll apply whatever pressure they can. And then, of course, they just recall out. But the point is that they're doing something that makes the Zerg a little uncomfortable. Solar was never uncomfortable. He had consistent scouting all the time, no problem. Oh, I can move
Yeah,
on.
that's actually a really good point. I wish Blizzard, we need the play-by-play feature. Rewind one small window, 20 minutes to the past or something. But you're right. Solar's scouting this game was pretty impeccable. It wasn't for a lack of trying. JYP did, clean up that first Overlord eventually. His blink was started pretty late. We do see him drive Solar back, and while he does have a pretty heavy supply lead, guys, do keep in mind a lot of that's in drones. So these inefficient roaches being sniped off on the retreat. But JYP is not in a position where he can really be in the open like this. Like, he needs to fall back. He needs to get the defenses around the third. And quite frankly, make sure his SimCity's good this time. Lings should never have been able to touch that cannon. The roaches were going to kill it anyway, sure. But, that's just kind of an example of that was a not great spot in the first place. Force fields are almost good. There we go. He locks them out. Kills the Lings. Bro goes down, but of course there's an observer here. Bro being revealed so early was perhaps not a mistake out of Solar, but a big reveal.
There's not any more force fields for the same thing. Maybe actually there are 4. There are barely 4 force fields, so Solar can't quite move down yet.
There's like 2 more behind this as well. 3 more with that new sentry. 3 force fields will choke the roaches out pretty hard. They'll have to funnel through, and he'll lose a lot going through. But yeah, 4 is that kind of perfect number. 3 actually works out pretty well too.
Yeah. Now he has an Immortal, so it's really going to help out. But the problem right now is that Solar's burrow movement is about to finish. Force fields no longer matter. Force fields are no longer there. JYP has successfully run out of force fields.
Yeah, this is one of the big things to look at, guys. JYP's actually got a pretty solid defense. I like what he has, but it's too small a number. And the thing for Solar is right now, he keeps attacking one location, but I think if he just goes back to that sort of attack from the right, attack from the left, run in through this, he'll be in a much better spot. Looks like he's going for the surround, though, on this army. So coming in from the left side, going to try and flank him here a little bit. There are a couple force fields. Time Warp gets thrown down. But the roaches might just be a little too numerous. Blink is good. There's only one Immortal. Just tunneling claws right underneath.
So terrifying.
Just like, why can't we invert force fields? It's actually, the tunneling claws to escape, guys, looks a little bit silly, but it gives the roaches a ton of regens. So some of these roaches that should have died end up having 1 HP, as we see, witnessed right now. God, look at that regen! It's so ridiculous! It's like 3 medevacs!
Yeah, it is. If JYP can continue holding, I thought actually the third should have gone down a long time ago. But if JYP continues holding and he is on 3 bases, maybe he can bring back into this game. Solar is on a very, it's powerful, but it's only like mid-game oriented, Roach Ling. But you don't know if it's actually able to hold.
Yeah, this is a lot of brute force coming out of Solar. And once again, he's only doing this from like 1 angle of attack. Just go for like the A-move mentality here. But, well, I shouldn't say that because he's doing a lot of control with it. But, he really could be segmenting off to the back end. He really could doing some run-bys on top of this too. That got him a lot of success early on. He's going to snipe off the level 3 weapon upgrades. Oh, those Stalkers needed this so badly. That would have been the one thing that would have possibly given him a chance to defend because Solar's upgrades were a little bit behind. But now Solar's going to have 2. These roaches already hit hard enough as is. Third base is about to get gutted. Pull the probes if you can. JYP, I gotta give him credit. Credit where credit's due. He's doing a fantastic job holding up an army with a very small amount of forces. Like, this is the Alamo for JYP. I can't believe he's holding on with what he does have, but, yeah, he was even preparing to go for a counterattack. Sadly, losing his third base is too much economy down the drain.
He should still drop off the Zealots. Yeah, that was a misclick. He's also not using his Mothership Core, which is still alive, but off to the left unhotkeyed, apparently. He has enough for a Proton Overcharge, enough for a Time Warp.
Time Warp would be good. You're in this panic situation. If it isn't hotkeyed, it's the last thing you're thinking about. Probes can be put back on mining too, arguably, but the reality is, guys, once again, JYP is fighting this impossible battle. Where's the Immortal going? You need 3 of these. Don't let the second one die for free.
A lot of damage is doing well. I don't know about a lot of damage, but it definitely is pulling back Solar.
Yeah.
Only 5 drones have died, I believe.
This is not enough damage to get him back in the game, but it does, as you point out, bring Solar back home. So now he's got the breathing room to get the Immortals out. What's impressive is he held this with Blink Stalkers and almost no Immortals. Now there's Immortals out to complement the Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, and I just looked. I did not realize that Solar has killed 32 probes, and JYP is still holding on.
Yeah.
Barely.
This is what kills me. Some people could argue Protoss OP, but I would just say JYP, with his engagements, with the very scarce amount of force fields he's had this whole game, He has control, the decision-making to fight in this choke. I mean, he's been doing this right. Solar, I don't want to discredit him because I think he's still way ahead, but he could be coming from the back end at the same time. He only needs like 5 roaches to come back here to kill the cannon. But
He
instead
could be
he
getting,
just,
you know, something else besides roaches. I mean, JYP's immortal count is getting a little crazy.
Solar could drone behind this too. There's a lot of arguments to be made on what could be going differently here for Solar. I think there's no argument though, unless JYP can maintain this third without losses. You know, he's starting to mine out of the main. He's starting to get that natural base a little bit low. These impossible holds he's making, he's not going to keep up for all game. I mean, Solar might just bully him down through attrition if this keeps up trading the way it has been.
Yeah. The War Prism is looking to actually get, well, oh, okay, just picked up the Zealots and will leave to go to the third, which is actually undefended. Most of Solar's army, the defensive army, is in the main. Oh no, go to the third. Okay, we're not.
Well, a little bit distracted perhaps at home. Crazy. I'm surprised Solar didn't wrap him from behind. He's going to go for the kill on the third. I like this actually a lot more, I guess, but I was expecting that to be like a sandwich crunch move.
Oh, and he is going for a Dark Shrine. Realizing he needs a bit more to go ahead and end the counterattack. And
Oh, he's going to
the
kill the
Zealots
Nexus.
are dropped off.
This might be game
Yeah.
right here with the Nexus going down, quite frankly, regardless of how well this fight goes. Force fields are amazing against those Zerglings, of course, but the Roaches are still numerous, and that third base was so important to JYP. If this main base had more mineral patches, this is less of a big deal, and he's got a bit more breathing room. But to get 400 minerals to replace this base and keep an army count up, I don't know, Zombie Grub. He's been doing miracle work so far, but this is like, this is not impossible, I'd say. The army's so scary, of course, but we'll see if Solar can do this. DTs might be the best way to get back into this if you can keep that War Prism alive.
Run, War Prism, run! JYP going for the counterattack. His army is scary because it is, I mean, so many immortals against what is mostly roaches is always scary. But I don't know if it's quite ready to go out in the open and attack. And then again, I mean, just roaches. I've seen so many games with just roaches. This is not enough against Blinkstalkers and immortals. This is actually kind of hard to call. I think
JYP's got
Good
one standing
call.
army, right? Like, if he loses this army, that's it this game. Solar's going to be able to keep remaking units constantly, consistently. So, I mean, it's so dumb to consider. If you trade out like 5 roaches for 1 stalker, 20 lings for 1 sentry, I mean, he'll win. It won't be the cleanest win, but he'll win.
Yeah, I would love if JYP took it a third behind us, and he actually is taking a third. Force Fields be able to cut this army off, and he gets all the lings. Oh, the Immortals
Oh,
are
he's
on the
going
front
aggressive.
line, though. He needs more Force Fields. Oh.
Throw them down. It's only stopping the lings, though. The roaches will not be stopped by mere force fields. Umbro's right on top of the army. We're going to focus down the Immortals pretty quickly here. Actually, no, just kind of attacks anything.
I mean, there's so many Immortals, though. Like, how can you focus them down? Finally, they start to go down, 2 of them immediately.
And this is what I was
There's
talking
other
about.
2...
The momentum shift is just not going to be in JYP's favor because he can't warp in 20 stalkers the same way Solar can make 20 more roaches.
Yeah, if he... a few more
DTs
chokes in JYP's favor, and he actually is okay. DTs are
still-
warped in. He's gonna get a 4th.
Yeah, he's getting him in the 3rd mineral line too. Only Queen to defend. This actually
He
pulls
hasn't
Solar
lost
back
so
once
much
more.
army. But JYP lost so much army. But
Yeah.
then Solar doesn't actually have that much of a bank. I don't know.
It's weird because this is kind of more or less standardized play, but it's a very low econ situation for both players. So we're not seeing that big momentum like I win because I've got more money, I make a big bank. But Solar definitely, I don't know, he's starting to fall behind. It's weird to consider. It's absolutely horrible to consider that, but he's running around with drones. He lost some, of course, to these DTs. The worker count's been even up despite having 4 bases. Did he never take gases in the main? Were these picked up? He never took gases in the main. WTF? Those guys use their full gas.
That's one thing he's not missing. He has not.
I know
gas.
it's the gas isn't a big deal right now. It's just hilarious because I've never seen anyone get to 25 minutes of the game and not take their main gases.
Oh, I really hope he hotkeys his Mothership Core again. This Mothership Core, by the way, has never died. There's something that attacks air.
It's because they both forget he has it.
He forgets to. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's so helpful. Like the time warps, maybe not so much as the burrows been really what's been the big problem. But Photon Overcharge, a little bit out of DPS.
I don't know. The Photon Overcharge at this point, I think Time Warp's going to be better. I think Time Warp's going to be way better complement to the Force Fields. I mean, when you get the Roaches burrowing like this, there we go. There we go. It's going to slow them down a little bit better than the...
Run.
Oh, those poor sentries, though.
Can't run back.
Guardian Shields go up. Yo, I always wonder if Hallucinations would be better in this particular instance. When you see this many burrowed Roaches coming down, but Immortal's still holding strong. JYP
Save the
doing great
Immortal, save the
damage.
Immortal, save the Immortal.
No, it's going down.
Pull it back.
Where's that warp person when you need it? I was warping in offensively once again. Some DTs coming. Yo, there's only one overseer in the front line. If he snipes this off, DTs hold his base.
Yeah, and Solar really can't afford it.
I can't believe
Snipe this
JYP!
base.
JYP
is
so
coming back to
good!
this game in like a really big way. Solar just has he doesn't have enough of a bank. He keeps on thinking that he can
He's
win.
down
every
to
single time he
26
pushes.
workers! He's lost so
my
much to
God.
these DTs!
JYP, please.
This
He
is...
needs to be here.
He snipes out the overseer. There we go. Now he can warp into our temple defensively. Oh, wait, there's another overseer down here too. Oh, he's gonna tap out though. So close! So close! I don't think he knew that Solar had no money! Like...
Did he really have to tap out?
I don't think he did! I think he holds that because...
looking at this.
Oh, JYP, if he ever watches the replay of the VOD, he's gonna absolutely kick himself. I don't think he was in a position to, like, win per se, but there's no reason he should have tapped there. Maybe we're caught up in the moment. Maybe we missed something bigger going on. I gotta tell you though, that was impressive freaking play out of JYP. I can't even. I mean, Solar was making some mistakes. Where were the Hydras? Where was the back end attack? You know, he got so much out of those first 3 roaches. I don't know. You could argue one player played really well. You could argue one player played really bad. The bottom line is we got a really entertaining game of StarCraft freaking 2.
Can you imagine what would have happened if +3 had been there?
It's
already
like
so close.
Like yeah, he sniped that with like less than 10 seconds to go. Okay, guys, we're gonna get the lobby set up. We're gonna take some time to cool off here. Ooh la la. We'll see you guys in a couple minutes while these ads run.